Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that me and Notion have been tussling for a few months now. After watching Notion tour after Notion tour after Notion tour, I think I finally figured it out. Let me insert a disclaimer right here. I am not a Notion guru. I'm a Notion beginner making this video for other beginners that are struggling with the app like me. I've collected a few free templates and customized them to create my perfect dashboard. Let me show you how I did it. I'm going to show you how I took my Notion from this and this and this to look like this and this and this in the easiest way that I found to customize Notion. So the first thing you'll need to do is go to the Notion website and set up a free account. Once you've set up your free account, the first thing I did was delete all of the templates on the side that I don't need. These are like the welcome templates, the standard templates that they include when you first sign up for Notion. When I watched the Notion tours and tutorials, I collected free templates along the way. I took pieces of what I wanted to use from each one of those templates and added them to my dashboard to create the template I'm currently using now. I have linked the names of the original template creators and added links to the templates in the description below. Once you've opened a link, to get the template to your Notion, you need to select duplicate in the top right. This first template that I'm adding is from Michelle K. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her last name because I don't want to butcher it. This is the main template I use for my Notion layout. I also used a lot of templates from my North Star dashboard by Maria. She did her thing on these. I'm going to copy the template created by Celine because there are a few pages that I want to include from this one. And the last template that I'm going to add is a budgeting template by the planning professor. This template is my whole budgeting section. Now that I have all the templates that I want to copy to my Notion, I'm going to drag my main template to the top so I won't have to search through the other ones to find it. So to move the template, all you have to do is hold on the title and drag it to the top. Let's change this cover. You can change the cover. You can search for covers in the Notion app by using the unsplash option. Just search for different topics and it'll bring up pictures that you can use. You can also upload a picture, and that's what I did. I went to Pinterest and I searched for neutral aesthetic and I found the Hello Gorgeous picture that I used on my dashboard. Once you've uploaded your photo, just select reposition and you can position the picture however you like in the frame. Next, I'm going to change the icon for this page. I'm going to use an emoji, but you can also use icons or upload a custom icon. There's a site that offers free icons and I'll link it below. There are also a set of icons you can use in the My North Star template and I'll show you those a little later on. I'm going to name my dashboard Ashley's homepage and leave the little icons on the side because I like them. I customized this next section on my dashboard with a few widgets I got from the My North Star templates. I'm going to go to that dashboard and move the widgets that I want to use from there to my dashboard. To move the widgets, go to the left side of the widget and a small gray box will appear. Hold on that box and you can drag and drop the widget to the template that you want to use them on. I'm going to drag and drop them to my home page. This drag and drop method is basically what I use to customize my dashboard with the different templates that I'm using. Once I've moved all the widgets I want to use from the My North Star homepage, I'm going to go to the artwork that's included with these templates. There's a picture there that I want to put on my dashboard. I'm going to use that same gray box to the left and select duplicate, then move the copy to my dashboard. When I go back to my dashboard and scroll to the bottom, you'll see everything that I added. To resize the pictures, if you hover over them, you'll see black bars appear on the corners and the edges. You can use those black bars to readjust the size of pictures. When I drag the photo to the top, you'll notice that blue lines start to appear. Those are areas that I can add the photo to. Next, I want to move the clock widget to the right side of the photo. To do that, I will need to drag the clock to the right until a blue line appears to the right of the photo. Once I've added the clock, the line will become gray, and I can use that gray line to adjust the distance between the sections. Next, I'm going to add one of the quote widgets below the clock. I'm just going to drag it up until I get the blue line under the clock and then I can drop it. I want to add the calendar to the right of the clock, so I'm just going to drag it to the right until I get a blue line and then drop it. So I'm going to add this photo under the calendar, but you see when I add the photo, it's a little off-centered and the lines are not and it's not quite lining up with the calendar, but that's okay. I'm going to add a fourth section, and you can also use the gray lines in between the sections to adjust the size to help with the alignment. Under this quote widget, I'm going to add this yearly countdown widget. It breaks down the year, month, week, and day by percentage. After I add the last quote widget, I'm going to use the gray lines to adjust the sections and the spacing until I get the look that I want. I'm also going to duplicate the separation lines under the titles in the next section and use those in between my widgets to separate them. I'm going to use the gray lines in between the sections to adjust them until I get the look for this area that I want. This last quote is one of my favorite ones on my dashboard. It says, "You are the greatest project you will ever work on." How true is that? I'm going to add this quote right under my dashboard header. I want to change the background color for this quote. Just select the gray box to the left and there's a drop down option for color. Here you can change the text and the background color. I'm going to use brown. The next section I have on my dashboard is a running task list. To get this list, I moved the This Week's Task List from my North Star templates to my dashboard. Go to the template and just drag the whole template to the home page. When I go back to the home page, the task list has been added to the bottom. Just use the gray box to the left and drag the task list to the section under the widgets. I also added a separation line between the widgets and the task list. I'm going to hide the not tagged section on the task list and use it like my archives. So once I'm done with the task, I can put it there and kind of hide it. I like having this task list here to move my tasks through the different phases and keep me on track of where I am in the progress. If I do move a task to the no tag section, it will still be there in case I need to pull it back out. Let's move on to the next section. I'm going to change the background color for the titles in this section, and I'm going to also update the titles to areas that I want to use for Notion. The first section is going to be for my content. The next section is going to be for planning, and I'm going to leave the last section as my personal section. Now I'm going to move around a few of the templates to the sections I want them to be in. I will be keeping some of the databases that are already here, and others I'll be changing or adding out from the other templates that we added in earlier. I'm going to move the agenda to planning, and habit tracking and journaling, I'm going to move that to my personal section. Starting with the content section, let's look at the content planner. The first thing I did was update the cover, and I'm going to go to Unsplash and look for a picture that feels like it matches this page. I'm going to search iPad and then use this picture with the iPad and the coffee mug. Once the picture has uploaded, I'm going to reposition it so you can see more of the heart in the coffee mug. One of the first things I started using in Notion was this content planner. The first calendar is a master content planner that rolls up everything that you plan into one place. There's a separate area below that I can plan out my YouTube videos, and also another area that I can plan out my TikTok and Reels. Once I add something to the calendar, let's change the date on this to October and schedule a TikTok for October as well. And then when I roll back up to the master calendar, you can see everything I've planned for the month. Let's go back to the home page and add some more databases to the content section from the My North Star templates. First page or database that I move over is work ideas. This just gives me a place to brain dump, take notes, or write any ideas out. Next, let's pull over the strategic planning template. It has an area for content creation and a posting schedule. I'll definitely be doing a deep dive into the strategic section at the end of the year to set goals for 2024. In my Notion, I made a few customizations to this template. I changed the cover, so I went to Unsplash and searched for MacBook and went with this desk as the cover because it looks like a planning session to me. This template also comes with a Spotify playlist that's embedded on the template, but you can switch this playlist out for any playlist that you want to use, and I'll show you how. The first thing you want to do is go to the Spotify site and log in. You can search for any playlist that you want to add at this point. I added an instrumental R&B mix to my Notion. Once you have your playlist that you want to add, select the three dots from the toolbar. scroll down to share, and then select embedded playlist. In the pop-up box, select copy to get the link. Now go back to Notion and select the area you want to add the playlist. I'm going to delete the playlist that's here and I want to add mine in that spot. I'm going to come below the picture and create a new line. On that line, I'm going to type / and then embed. Select the embed prompt. In the pop-up box, paste the link and then select embed link. This is going to create your playlist. Now I'm just going to use the gray box to the left side to drag the playlist where the old one was and use the black bars around the playlist to resize it. I also want to have this playlist on my dashboard, so I'm going to go below the section that we're currently working on now, and I'm going to create a new line and embed the playlist here. The next template that I'm going to use in my content section comes from the Your Homepage set. I'm going to take the growth tracker from here and add it to my content section. I'm going to use this growth tracker to track my social medias. It already has a place for YouTube and Instagram. The only thing that's missing is TikTok. So I'm going to go in and duplicate each one of the areas for Instagram and retitle it TikTok, so now I have a tracker for all 3 of my social medias. Growth Tracker is the last database for the content section, so now let's take a look at the planning. There is a goal template already in the planning section that came with this template, and I'll give you a quick look at it. There's nothing wrong with this goal template if you like the way this one is laid out, but I chose to use the goal template from the My North Star templates. So I'm going to delete this goal template out and I'm going to bring over the 2023 goals from My North Star. I haven't done much with this template yet. I want to wait, since I'm just now getting into Notion, I want to wait and use this at the beginning of the year for my 2024 goals. It has an area for me to set goals for health, finance, career, personal, and family in this first section. And then when you scroll down, you have an area that you can track the status of your goals. So as I start accomplishing my goals, if I start it in progress, I can move it through the different phases of the goal. Here's another tip for Notion. As you move through these different templates, if you collapse the area that you're not currently working with, it makes it so much easier to find the templates that you do want to use. And now I'm going to go into the Your Homepage section and I'm going to pull over the monthly goal template from this section. This is the template that I use at the beginning of every month and just write down all the goals I want to set for myself. Keep in mind that these templates are completely customizable once you copy them into your Notion. So if you don't like the icons that are there on the template when you get them, you can easily switch them out for any icon that you want to use on your templates. This database is set up for you to use monthly for your goals. So at the beginning of each month, I come in and I typically change out the icon and then I add in that month and write down all my goals. And once you've gone through the month and you come back and you reflect and check off the goals that you completed, you can just drag this down to this little trash can, the archives, and it's a place where you can go back and reflect on all your monthly goals, but they're not on the template anymore. So even though the icon is a trash can, think of this more as like your archive file. And I want to make sure that I have one of these for my yearly goals. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to duplicate this. And then I'm going to drag it over to the template for my yearly goals. And to do that, you have to make sure that you expand the home page of your templates and drag it to the section where your yearly goals are so it pops up on that page. Now that I have the archives on my yearly goals page, I'm going to go in and change the name of it so it matches the page that it's on. Now each year that I get ready to reset at the beginning of the year, I can just drag my yearly goals that I've used for the previous year down to the archives and I'll have those to reflect back on. And this template isn't set up to give you a new year for each year. It's only set up for this current year. So I would just go in and duplicate the areas and drag the ones that you've done for the previous year to your archives and just reset everything for the new year. The next template we're going to take a look at is the monthly reflection template. And I use this just to write down everything that happens during the month so I can remember what happens, the good things, the bad things. It gives you a chance to write down the things you've learned and things you want to improve on. And if you want to write anything else about the month, you have this little section at the bottom that you can just journal about your month if you want. And this database is set up for a monthly refresh, so you would just click the new month button and it will give you a new month so you can start over with your monthly reflection. I am going to go in and change the cover on this template real quick, just for keep in mind that you can change any of these covers to reflect how you want them to look in your Notion. The same goes for the templates. If you have a free template that you like some of the parts of it that I don't have included in the description below, you can do this same technique with any of the free templates that you found that you want to use for your Notion. You can just use this method to drag and drop them in and customize your Notion however you want. I'm just showing you how I have mine set up so you'll know how to set yours up the way you need it to be. The next thing I'm going to add to my dashboard is the budget template. I'm going to pull the whole thing over and add it to my dashboard. The planning professor used a couple of free budget templates that she had found on YouTube, and she compiled this template and it is perfect. The template includes this savings dashboard that you can add in the different areas that you want to save for. You have a credit card payoff and it's got these little icons on there for each credit card that you have. And you have your annual overview that gives you all the months for the year. You just go in and add your information in for each month. There's a place for you to track your income monthly and a place for you to track your expenses for each month. I've been using this template for my budgeting for the last couple of months and I'm loving it. Now let's add the travel template. I'm going to delete the template for travel that's already on this dashboard, and the travel planner that I'm going to use is the one from my North Star. This travel log has an area for you to actually map out the places that you've been. It creates a map of the places that you visited, and there are directions in the top portion to tell you how to create your own map that you can follow step by step. It also has a travel planning template, and this is an example of the template that comes up. Every time you enter a new destination, this template populates and you can go through and you can add all your information in for your trip in this area. The next template in the planning section is a watch list, and I don't track what I watch, so I'm going to delete that, but I did move over the book and Audible log from the North Star templates, and I definitely use this one. I made a few customizations to this template and I'll show you what I did. The first thing I did was change out the moving clouds for a book as my cover. I also changed out this floating pond flower picture. I went to the artwork on the North Star template. She has a lady that I used that's laying on top of a stack of books. I wanted that on my reading log. So I just duplicated the photo and dragged it to my book log. Now I'm just going to resize her by using the black lines on the side of the photo when you hover over it. And then I'm going to drag her under the picture that I want to remove. And once I have the photo in place and I delete the one that I don't want anymore, I can use the gray line in between the sections to resize her to the size that I want. Since I want her a little bigger, you'll see that the current reading log will start to shift over and you won't be able to see all the categories in there. So what I did for this was I put my what's in queue under the photo and I moved the reading challenge under the photo. And I'm just going to move like the first 2 blocks up under there and delete the rest because those aren't my books. These are books that were on the template to show you how to use them. Now I know there's probably a way to delete all, like for me to highlight a couple of these in one group and delete them instead of deleting one by one, but I have not figured that out yet. So if anyone knows how to do that and you don't mind sharing, please drop it in the comments below. Thanks. I've updated this reading log to reflect all the books that I've read this year so far. My what's in queue is my running books to read list. So I have this in my Notion and I also have it in my digital planner. And I also opened the reading challenge so you can take a quick look at the challenges and keep in mind that you can change those challenges and add to it as you like. The next template that I have in planning is the agenda template. I like the way this template is set up. I did delete the weather widget at the top. What I like most about this template is you don't have to use this agenda every week. On the weeks that you do use it, the template is set up to give you a daily task list. Just add the new weeks in as you go and you can archive your previous week. There's also an area at the bottom for you to set up your reoccurring weekly task list and look ahead at your next week and month. I duplicated this template and created a work agenda so I could keep my job tasks separate from my personal. If you've seen my Instagram stories, you'll know that I've been using this agenda for work, and it has really helped keep me organized during the work week. It gives me a quick snapshot of everything I have going on and also any upcoming deadlines I have. As the last template I added to the planning section, now let's take a look at my personal section. This is the journal that's included with the original template, but I'm going to switch this journal out for the journal from my North Star. I like that it gives you a calendar view for your journal entries. I did switch out the cover on this template and also change the icon. There's also a playlist included with this template, and I already showed you how to change it out if you want. I'm going to keep the note template in this personal section, and I want to switch the cover out for a photo of an actual notebook. Also going to keep the shopping list template. This shopping list can be used for groceries, but you could also use it for any type of shopping you need, like maybe your Christmas list or birthday presents that you want to buy for people. Use the recipe and meal prep template from my North Star. This template has an area for your recipes, a grocery list, and an area for you to meal prep with. The next template is a language hub. This template could be used to track the different languages you're working on learning, especially if you're taking a second language in school. But I really don't need this template for anything, so I'm going to delete it. This is the habit tracker that's included with the current template. I'm going to switch this one out for the habit tracker in my North Star. The habit tracker from my North Star gives me the ability to track my habits on a weekly basis. There are a few more sections I'm going to pull over from the My North Star templates. The first one is the icon collection. You can use these icons throughout your Notion, and I want to make sure I have them on my dashboard in case I want to use them later on. I'm also going to pull over the artwork section that I've used throughout my Notion. I want to make sure that I have these photos to go back to in case I want to use more of them later. The last section that I'm going to pull over is the skincare routine template. It has an area for your morning and evening routines, the products that you want to order, your current product list, and a product wish list. I'm not quite sure if I'll use this template yet, but I definitely want to include it in case I decide to later on. One thing I forgot to do when I started in this section was to change out the pictures for each one of the areas. For content, I'm going to use Unsplash and search for desk and use this photo that I also used on my Notion for a little motivation. For planning, I searched for planner, and this is the closest picture I found to the one that I've used on my Notion. For the personal section, I wanted to use a photo that was more of a representation of me. I'm going to Pinterest and I'm going to search Black Girl Relaxation Art and find the photo I used on my Notion dashboard. To me, this picture describes my perfect weekend morning. It looks like she just got out of the shower, drinking a cup of coffee or tea, in complete relaxation mode, and self-care is the goal for the day. The last thing that I've added to my dashboard is a calendar, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways you can add calendars to yours. This first one is for anyone using the content planner. You can create a view of your master content planner on your dashboard so you can have everything in one place. Select the 3 dots on the calendar toolbar and then copy the link to the view. You can add the calendar anywhere on your dashboard you want. I decided to put mine at the very bottom, so I'm going to create another separation line, and then I'm going to add the link for the calendar under that. I'm going to paste the link, and then I'm going to select Create Link View of Database, and the calendar will automatically pop up on your dashboard. You can also have more than one calendar to view in this section, and I'll show you how to add another one. I'm going to rename this calendar to Content, and then I'm going to do a little cleanup on my Notion. Now that I pulled over all that I need from the other 2 sets of templates, I'm going to go ahead and delete them from my Notion. I don't want to leave them there and have to go through all of those templates that I'm not going to use when I have everything I need already in my homepage or on my dashboard. And don't worry, after you delete the templates, if you forgot something or you need to pull something else out, the pages will still be available in your trash. Now I'm going to show you how to add a new calendar. So if you go to your dashboard, you're going to select the plus sign, and in the new page pop-up, you're going to add in the title of whatever you want to call it. I'm going to do a monthly overview, and then In the add new, I'm going to select calendar. I don't have a data source for this, so I'm going to select new database. Now you have a fresh calendar to do any monthly planning that you want on it. So we're going to go to the three dots again, and we're going to copy the link to view. So we'll be able to see this on the dashboard. So once we copy the link to view, we're going to go back to the dashboard. And you'll notice that down at the bottom, you see your overview, your monthly overview down here. I'm just going to drag that up and put it under my planning section. And we're going to repeat the same process for adding the view of the calendar at the bottom. So I'm going to scroll down to the line that I want to add it to. I'm going to right click and paste it. Then I'm going to create a link view of the database. And now I have a copy of the calendar here. Now, if you want your content calendar and a copy of this calendar on your dashboard, I'm going to show you how to have it without having both of them show up like this. So we're going to delete this view, go back up to the content planner, and at the plus sign beside content where we change the name of content, you're going to select that plus sign. By selecting the plus sign, you have an option for a new view. And in the drop down, you're going to select the monthly overview. And now you have both of the calendars together. You can toggle back and forth between your content calendar and your monthly overview. Alright y'all, I just showed you all the steps I took to customize my dashboard. Here's a quick view of the dashboard we just recreated. Now a look at the one I'm currently using. I'm still a Notion newbie, so if you have any tips or tricks you want to share, please leave them in the comments. Alright y'all, till next time.